Well, this is what remains of my start button. Boneheaded thing of the day. Was working pretty quick at the end of the day yesterday. Had the start button out because I was working on the dash, and it was laying right here, and I closed the door in it. So that is an expensive mistake, but and I don't really know what I could have done to prevent that or change that. I probably should have. I guess it's good to always have the parts that you need out of the way or in the right place as much of the time as possible, but it's a mistake. People make mistakes. I made a mistake. Okay, this is all the screws out from the front vent on the dash. This is the dash upside down on my lap. These go to the air vents up front, and then there's the two others there. This is for the windshield defroster, I guess. Here, I've just taken all the screws out, and I'm going to lift it up and see what's underneath. I can access it. Don't want to break anything. Okay, that's what we got. A bunch of vents and a bunch of mud. Get to vacuum that up and clean it, and then clean the bottom of this. I'm going to be spending a lot of time in the laundry room cleaning up these various pieces. Alright, gotta say, I'm pretty excited about how this dash is turning out. I used the what is this? Mother's Back to Black trim and plastic restorer, and it is doing a really good job. I washed this multiple times, soap and water, did all sorts of stuff to it, but now the Back to Black is looking pretty good. Okay, so I've got my dash panel on. I'm installing a new radio. So here's the antenna for the new radio. Crutchfield makes a wiring harness for you, so that's already made and pre-installed here. The radio has a microphone attachment. I'm thinking of putting a microphone on the inside of the carbon fiber cowling that I got, but we'll see. It's supposed to go up here, but I don't want to run a wire. It's supposed to go up there. I don't want to run a wire all the way down and around. So I might just see if I can stick it on the cowling somehow, or at least keep it out of the way at the very least. So let's see, yeah, dash is going in, and radio is going in, and I got the ultrasonic cleaner working on cleaning all the screws. And yeah, we'll keep going. Okay, so when I put or installed this radio yesterday, I don't know if you can see it, but it is not sitting flush in the back there. And I think it's because some of the cabling in the back is pushing it out a little bit. So I'm going to detach the whole thing again, and then hopefully get it flush in its little bracket and then slide it back again. I'm just trying to make it all look good. Was able to get this on the side sill, which is good. I've got a new right-hand side sill plate coming like this one. That should be here on Wednesday. My goal is to try and get the car out of this garage again under its own power. So clean everything in here one more time. Get it all back together before this weekend. Okay, so here's an exciting moment. You'll notice that the dashboard light is on. I got the radio on. Got the headlights on. Actually, I've got the parking light button on, so I need to switch those two buttons out. But the exciting moment is lights are on. Lights are on. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Oh, look at that. There's mud back in the bottom of the lights. I'm gonna have to figure out a way to clean those out. Oh man. I guess I knew that there was mud in the front. So it's the parking lights. Those are all working here. And I'm gonna go ahead and turn the headlights on. I know I have to switch those two buttons out. That's the headlights now. Headlights working? Look at that. Headlights are working. Headlights are working. Very cool. And so I'll just switch the two plugs on the back there for those. Well, actually, turn the headlights on. Let me see if my high beams work. Oh, high beams work too. Look at that. I can see that on the... Both of them working? Or just the one? Let me see. Yeah, they're both working. All right. All my lights work. I just got to switch the plugs. Very cool. What about a turn signal? No turn signal, but I wonder if the car has to be running for turn signals to go. I don't know the answer. I'm going to have to check that out. Sweet. All of the lights work. So, just another quick cleaning moment to point out to you guys. I just vacuumed this whole tub area, and it looks okay. It's getting there. I still got to wash it out some. And then I looked underneath, and I reached up, and I saw this whole little shelf up here. And if I reach in, there comes more dirt. There it is. Still mud hiding in places around the cabin. So I'm gonna assume the Lotus position here and get underneath and take a look at everything and see if I can clean it all. Coming up here with some simple green and some water. Okay, I've mixed up my simple green at a mixture of 8-to-1, and I got some hot water here. So I'm gonna start just cleaning up in here. I'm gonna get as much stuff clean and good before any carpeting goes back in. Found that same sill on this side, and it dumped a whole bunch of dirt. If you're a kindergarten teacher, you might be familiar with the Lotus position, which is sitting crisscross applesauce, as they like to say in kindergarten. In the Lotus position is head under the steering wheel here, with your body sort of in the cab. I'm going to try to get back there so I can clean. Now, let's see how this works. What if it works? I'm a big guy. This is going to be hard to do. I'm going to have to... Yeah, I think this is it. I just need some light. All right, so here's underneath. That's all the dirt that fell down there. Look at that little hiding space up there. It's a great place if any law enforcement officers are watching. That's a good place to hide something in this car. But yeah, I'm trying to clean off all these petals. I'm going to spray some simple green back here too. But man, it's ooh, there's all sorts of places for dirt to hide. We're going to get it all cleaned up. Try and get the carpets in. Alright. Keep cleaning here. My arms only go a certain way. Okay, finishing up for the night. It looks a lot better than it did, but I still got a ways to go, I think. I'm not sure the staining on the back here is ever going to come off. Simple green, all that sort of stuff. It just doesn't seem to do anything. Luckily it's covered up by carpeting, but I still would like to get as much dirt out of here as possible. So everything looks a little bit better, I imagine. And it should be good to go here in a couple days, hopefully. Until you have cleaned everything, there's always going to be places that you didn't clean. And one place that I forgot is behind here, behind the climate control module, which doesn't work to my knowledge. I probably need to replace the resistor pack that's in the front under the clamshell, but I should try and clean this off, or take it out at least, and try and clean the connectors and things behind it. So that's what I'm going to try and do now. Okay, so it's good I cleaned under here. I gotta undo all these connectors again and see what I can get clean. Wash it out. Alright, so this was dirt that was in there and the little base that sits underneath, so I gotta dump this out. Wash that out. And here's my control unit. Plenty of dirt in there too. I might have to replace that sender unit. Let me see what I got. That's a lot of mud. Alright, so now it's time to disassemble this so I can clean this area. It looks like 4 screws, 2 up top, possibly 2 at the bottom. And I'm going to clean everything. Oh, that's a tiny screw. And there's that. That's this one too. Yep, that's another one. Okay, that's 2. 3. And 4. So now I think this should just, yep. That detaches right from the back. All right, so now to clean these two and put it all back together. It goes like that. Okay, so here it is all cleaned up. Washed, bits, everything's redone and clean, all parts clean. Now it's just time to stick it back in, and my guess is that the resistor pack is actually blown. That's behind the clamshell here in the AC housing area, but we'll see. Maybe doing this will have freed something up or make something work easier. We'll have to see. I'm going to deoxit all the connections and then plug it all in. I'll probably do that tomorrow because it's getting kind of late tonight. Tomorrow's Wednesday. I got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday till the storm comes, or Saturday till the storm comes. So trying to get the car to do a quick loop around the block before we get a bunch of snow here. So I'll see what I can do. Keep trying. Okay, so when I detached this, I didn't do a good job of remembering which wires went where, so I had to figure that out. If you look on this connector here, you'll see little letters below or above or near each wire. So one says B, C, and then there's an M, an H, and an L, I think is what it is. And I found the diagram online, which points it out and has all the wire colors that go to each one of those individual connectors. And so those wire colors are here. And so there's green, green with yellow, green with blue, light green with blue, stripes, and so now I'm just going to try and put those all together. And then luckily the AC and recirculate switch are the same. They're still labeled from when it was put together the first time, originally at the factory. So time to put this on now. All right, so you can see in there the little rubber seal has expanded because it got wet, I guess, and it's blocking off that plug from closing fully. So I'm gonna have to pull that out or do something around that seal. Maybe I'll just put some dielectric grease in there and try and seal that up differently. All right, so it's not ideal to take that out. Obviously, it makes that plug not be watertight anymore, but hopefully there shouldn't be too much water ingressing into the cabin of this car anymore in the future. So I'm just going to substitute it with some dielectric grease, I think. Okay, so I have reinstalled the seat belts and reestablished the seatbelt connections here. They're zip tied in right now. I got these, the burgundy seat belts to match the burgundy exterior from a company called safetyrestore.com. They're not sponsoring anything or anything like that. I just had them do the seat belts. And I've just reinstalled them, and hopefully now when I turn on the car the next time, the airbag light will go off. That was one of the things that was on, but we'll see if that goes off next time I turn the car on. Okay, I'm using this time with all the carpets off to also replace the sound deadening down there. I've got some second skin automotive insulation there. That should do a good job. Okay, so I am finishing up putting the sound insulation in. I've got it covering all the other places here, and then I'm going to work on getting the carpeting ready to come in. Got to pick out which of the carpet pieces are the best to use, because I ordered some some replacement pieces. And hopefully this will have an impact on the sound in the car, make it a little bit quieter, because I know my other one, it's always pretty loud. But maybe this will help it out. Okay, we're gonna try and work on putting the cowling back in again. I'm gonna need a screwdriver. Alright, so on this cowling, the back screws go into the little piece that's holding on the instrument cluster. The front screws just screw into this top cowling piece there, so that's all that goes there. Alright, so the lower cowling is on and the upper cowling is on. There we go. There's that screw, one up front here, one in back, and then two below also. I just got those on, and so now it's time for my new piece of carbon fiber, and hopefully that will snap right on. Okay, so when you don't know what you're doing, sometimes you wind up wasting time a little bit. Turns out this goes on before the lower cowling piece. So I have to take that lower cowling piece off again, and then put that top part on, and then put the lower one on. Okay, let's get these screws in. Okay, I think that's one rear center console in. I unfortunately broke both of my seatbelt covers. I'm going to need to replace those. That's like 40 bucks, unfortunately, but that's okay. Those parts are redoable. I've also seen them 3D printed, so we'll have to figure that out at a later point. Let me get some interior detailer and just wipe this down one more time to get any of the extra spray off, and then we'll test the radio out. Okay, so I'm spraying some detailer on here. Interior, let's see, what am I using? I'm using Meguiar's Ultimate Interior. Let's see how that looks over here. Let me get my light going. Look at that. The light turns on, that's cool. That's when the doors are open, I think, and then all the way down is just on permanently. Okay, very, very cool. Okay, so got everything installed back here, including the new speakers. I tried them out, and this one didn't work, and so I was like, oh man, I gotta take the whole thing off. Luckily I didn't. I just detached that speaker, pulled it out, and one of the connections had detached, so I reattached that, and now it's good to go. So I've got 4 speaker audio, which is great. And so now it's time to move on to the center console piece here, or at least the center carpet piece. And then I'm gonna have to put some rib nuts in if I remember right. And we'll see about that and go from there. Okay, good morning. Time to put the seats in the car today and hopefully get it driving around the block. Got the interior in last night. Looks pretty good, I think, still this morning. And so now I'm going to put the seats in. These are the bolts that I need to for the passenger seat. They are I guess they're M8 bolts, but it's a number 6 hex head, and then this washer goes under the outside passenger front bracket, the bracket. So I'm going to get those on and hopefully get the seat in. That one's going in. So if your wife ever tells you you need another, you don't need any more sockets, you gotta remind her. Sometimes you just need the right tool for the job. So now this back bolt has this little T-piece that goes in. It's the seat stop, I guess, or something if it were to move, but it's going to go right back there. Okay, correction. T-piece I think actually goes on the outside corner here. At least the parts manual shows it on the outside corner of the driver's seat. So I'm going to assume that it's the same on this one. And there's a plastic cover from the center console that's in the way on that side. So I think the T-piece actually goes in this one. Okay, seats are in. Looks good, I think. Get a little bit more. I'll see. I do have to adjust the throttle though. Okay, so I adjusted the throttle stop screw so that it was just at the bottom of the stop plus a quarter turn, which is what I read online I'm supposed to do. There's a little bit of slack in the line, which I think is okay. There's supposed to be a little bit of play. It doesn't come out of the guide at all, so I think that's all right. And so hopefully that might resolve our sticking throttle issue. Okay, YouTube, it is 11:49 in the morning. I'm racing against the storm right now. I'm getting the wheel arch linings in. This is the back one. I washed that off. Just did the front right wheel arch lining. That one's in. I've got these two to put in still. I'm also making sure the tires are at the right pressure and that my lug nuts are appropriately torqued. Interior's looking great. Got the seats in this morning. Stereo, I switched out my really nice new floor mats for these old ones just for the first run or so, because I'm sure some more dirt's going to fall out here somewhere. But got a little bit more to go, and then hopefully they'll be ready for the first drive. Okay, we'll start with adding some fuel also. Yeah, I'm gonna drive. So here's my debrief from the drive. As I was driving, the shift cables became tighter and tighter, or at least the shifter became tighter and tighter, and I was less able to get the car into and out of gear as I kept driving. Now that I think about it, at the end of the day, I think what might be happening is that there might be some water in the shift cable lines. And when I was driving, because it's 20 degrees outside and I had the under trays off, I wonder if it might have been freezing. Because when I pulled back into the garage after my short 2-mile, 5-minute ride, the shift cables returned to normal after I changed the oil in the car, which has nothing to do with it other than heat. I was able to probably melt whatever froze in the lines. So that's my working hypothesis right now. So I think might have happened. If you guys have any other ideas of what would cause shift cables to get tight while you're driving outside and then loosen up after you park, I'd love to hear it. But otherwise, it was a really successful day. Got the car out on the road. It drove beautifully. The engine sounded good. Other than this shift issue, I think it's still going to be a really solid car. So very cool, and it was a good day overall. But more things to chase down. Okay, psychology moment time. And the topic tonight is one that I've covered briefly before, I think, in other videos, and that's the topic of distress tolerance. I want to brush on it again because I think I had a good experience of it with the first drive that I did. So the topic is that of distress tolerance. And that is, and I guess the link to therapy is that, when I'm working with clients, I'm not trying to take away all anxiety or all stress or all difficulties. That's not realistic, and that's not what happens in real life. Similarly, when I was driving the car, I was uncomfortable, right? There were sounds that the car was making that didn't seem right. The shifter wasn't working perfectly yet, or had some weird behavior in it. And I was nervous about, the car breaking down, the snow coming, the time pressures, all those things that were happening, right? And yet we still were able to drive the car and to get it going and to move forward. And I guess the link to therapy is the point that progress happens inside of discomfort. Progress doesn't happen after discomfort disappears, right? So when you're working with a psychologist, you're learning to do things with the amount of distress that you're feeling. And hopefully by doing so, you find out that you're more capable of handling that distress or handling those difficulties, just like we were on the drive together. So I thought it was a really successful drive. I think it's a good example of a skill of distress tolerance, of doing something even when the situation isn't perfect and moving forward. And I think that that's a skill that can be taught and that people can learn to do well moving forwards. So I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, hit the like and subscribe button, and we'll keep making them. Right? Thanks, and hope you have a good night.